Good morning, all you handsome people. We have got a 2017 Ford Transit. It's a 2 litre ecoblue, and we're going to be doing a wet belt on it. Now, this is the first one I've ever done, so we're going to be doing this one together. Now, this is rear wheel drive, so we've got quite a few things to take off. Power steering reservoir, a few little coolant pipes. We've got to take the viscous fan off and the fan shroud as well, by the looks of it. So let's get them off. Now, I made a little bit of room for myself. All the coolant hoses, I've just pulled them out of the way. I've disconnected them pretty much in the middle there. That half will go there. You don't need to take them all off. They can just be tucked out of the way. Now, to remove the viscous fan itself, it's opposite thread, so it's righty loosey, lefty tighty. And what I've had to do, these can be a little bit of a pain in the bum. So what I've had to do is get my air chisel, just put a bit of a notch on the nut itself, and it will, once the shock's slackened it off, it'll just wind off with your fingers pretty easy. Right, let's get this fan cowling out of the way. Now, I've got the vehicle half raised. I can't really go any higher because of the roof height issues, but what I've done, you just move around here, I've removed the radiator out of the way for the simple reason being just to give me a little bit more room, because I've been told that if I take the radiator out, I've got enough room to get my impact gun on and remove that crank bolt. But while we're underneath here, we have to, before we take a timing cover off, we've got to drain the oil out of it. And also, it's stupid. Why do Ford think of stuff like this? I don't know. We've got to remove the cross member, and in that we've got to support the engine as well. So I'm going to have to get a bit of a pit board in between the ramp and just go on the back of the gearbox there, and then we can remove this brace as well. Now we've got the van back on the floor. I've removed the water pump pulley, which is a stretch belt. It's 410s and it'll just pop off. We need to just slacken this tension off now on the alternator belt, so we can get that off, and then we can make a start on removing the crank pulley. Now, I have gone ahead and removed the crankshaft pulley bolt. Now, it wasn't that tight, it just did come undone with the Milwaukee gun pretty much. Well, once that radiator's out, you can get your gun in there, no problem whatsoever. But however, it doesn't stop there. But Ford being Ford, there's always something that you've got to do. Now, the crank pulley is pressed on as well. Now, you do need a special tool, but this tool has been homemade, home built, shall I say. Now, if you're watching this, John, absolutely awesome tool. Fair play to you, credit where credit's due. As you can see, game changer. Now, let's move around now to the timing cover itself. There's lots of bolts all the way around it, and they're all different sizes and lengths, and God knows what. So get yourself a little bit of cardboard. As you can see, they're all different lengths. Pierce them in the holes in the cardboard where they're meant to go. There's a bit of a template, and then yeah, that's it. I mean, on this cover, we're gonna have to get a little bit of a bar or a straight edge down there and just prise it off. Every time you do one of these, you do need to get a new timing cover, because as you can see, you damage them getting them off. Now we are back underneath the vehicle and we've got the timing cover off, as you can see. Now, you do need to order a new timing cover, because when you get them off, you do pringle them. There's nothing you can do. But however, we also need to take the sump off as well. But to do that, what I've had to do is get a pit board across the ramp and a little bit of a screw jack on the gearbox at the back there, because we need to drop it off the engine mount up here with 2 18s and 4 13s either side, and then we can get this out of the way. Once that cross member is out of the way, we need to get ourselves a lovely little tin. We're just going to put all the bolts in that we take out of the sump. Now, they are all the same size, so they are all the same size, so we haven't got to worry about getting them mixed up. Once all them bolts are removed now from the sump, get yourself a little rubber mallet and give it a good clouter-rooney, and it should break nice and free, because you don't want to be getting a bar in there and bending all that sump. Now let's get this engine timed up. Now, it is a little bit of a faff. Now, what I've done, already removed the oil pump belt, because you need to remove that oil pump drive pulley, because you need to match up. There's two little pink, they are a bit hard to see, I don't know if you can see them. 2 pink arrows on them pulleys. They've got to be matched up for top dead centre, and put them 2 pins in the top camshafts by there and there. And then what we can do is put that, where's it gone? Put that pulley back on, we can get that locking timing tool on. Now, once that timing tool is in, as you can see, we've got a little 8mm there out of the timing cover. to keep it in place. Then we need to move around now and get the belt off, and how you do it is an 8mm Allen key on the tensioner, and then you put a pin through it to keep the tension off it, and we can just remove the belt. Just with a little bit of magic, that timing belt now is off, and to be honest with you, it looks not in bad condition. Very little cracking in it, all the teeth look in good condition. Well, there's a few cracks there, but you expect that from a rubber belt. Just get down and get off there. Now, like I said before about taking the sump off and having a look at the pickup, that pickup in there, I don't know if you can see, is like brand new. There's no belt fibres in there whatsoever, so I'm going to give that sump a good cleaner-rooney, and we're going to get that stuck back on after we put the oil pump belt back on. But the belt kit that we are using is a genuine kit. All new belts, tensioners, and also a new timing cover. Yeah, just got the painstaking part now of giving all that a bit of a good cleaner-rooney. Now we've given everything a bit of a cleaner-rooney, and it does look like, everything looks like brand new in there. We need to remove the locking tool. And where have I put it now? Where have I put it? And pull the oil pump pulley off, and then we can feed the belt down to the oil pump and then slide that pulley back on. And there we go, that is the oil pump belt back on with a little protective plastic cover. Now I have cleaned the block up, which is absolutely perfect, and I've also cleaned the sump as well. Now in the bottom of here, there was quite a lot of gunge down there. Now as you can see, it is spotless. And we're going to put a little bit of sealant on it, and what I use is BGA sealant compound, and this stuff's insane. If you have a look at the end of the tube, I've put like a V in it, and what it does, as you're applying it, it gives a good thick bead of it. The windscreen lads will know about that. I've now got the sump back on, and as you can see, we've got a nice bead of sealant all the way around in between the block and the sump itself. Now let's get round to putting the belt on. Now I have put it on. Now let me come underneath here for a second, if I can show you. What I've done is put a little mark on the crank by there, and we've also marked the camshaft pulleys up there. And all we're going to do now is get a little Allen key, and we're going to remove this pin. Now once you've removed all the timing pins, we're going to get on our bar now, put the crank bolt back in, and we're just going to turn the engine over twice and make sure all them marks are lining up correctly. Now once we're happy with all our timing marks are lined back up, like I said before, we have cleaned this block. When I mean it is like brand new, it is like brand new. We need to get this timing cover on, and it is a brand new one. We're going to put some sealer on it, but make sure you go quite a lot by there, and also by here as well, which goes, hang on, let me show you, by here, by the tensioner, because they do leak. So make sure you're not shy with the sealer. Alright, let's get it, put it on. Now that cover is back on and it is all torqued up to spec-a-rooney. As you can see, it is a bit of a faff with it, and there's lots of little torque sequences, etc. We need to get this crank pulley on now, but you do need to buy, which comes in the kit, a new crank bolt. I'm going to be using a little bit of stud and bearing on it as well. Now to put these on, get yourself a little bit of lubrication. I'm going to be using some Launch Power Lube Plus. Just give it a little squirt, because it's going to need it as it's being tightened up. Now once we're happy with everything and we put all the belts back on, we need to put the cross member. But before we do, these bolts, they're secured to the sub chassis. We're going to give them a damn good cleaner-rooney and give them a good coating in copper grease, because if it does have to come back off again, then bolts ain't going to snap. Now I've finished with everything underneath the vehicle. Now I forgot to mention right at the beginning of the video, you do need to disconnect the battery, but rather than disconnecting it, just come underneath this cover here and remove the live strap going to the alternator and start them up. All I've got to do now is put all this back together. It shouldn't be too long now. And just like that, with a little bit of magic, that vehicle now is all back together. We have put some fresh coolant in it, we've done an oil and filter change on it as well. What we're going to do now is get on the key and give it a big start really. And there we have it, that vehicle now is all back up and running. And there we go, that is one, the 2017 Ford Transit 2 litre ecoblue. wet belt replacement. Now we've done that all together. That was my first one that I've done. No doubt I'm going to be doing lots more of them. Well, we all are, to be honest with you. But yeah, that is how I've done it. So yeah, let's get it sent.